I've mentioned this to you in the past that one of the biggest scams that has been going on in this industry for 20 some years is those handicappers, especially those generally associated with 800 phone room services claiming to have inside information. It doesn't exist. It's an advertising ploy. Believe me, there is no such thing as inside information, and yet these services, these scumbags that have these 800 numbers, they're still in business after all these years. God knows how. I mean, I know W.C. Fields said at one point, years ago, decades ago, that there's a sucker born every minute, but can there possibly be that many suckers out there that still fall victim to that line? Inside information. And I'll give you a case in point. Yesterday, my big game was on Alabama and Texas A&M. And it was a big play for me. It was a 15 dime release, which matches my normal top rated play in any sport. And I was coming off a winner with Maryland over Minnesota, and my last one on this had hit 3 of my last 4, 7 out of 9 this season. So I'm looking at the Alabama and the Texas A&M contest, and if you happen to go to our score page yesterday, you would have seen that there was this player for Texas A&M, Jalen Jones, who was questionable for the contest. Now listen, I can tell you something about just about every single college team, all 300 and how many of them are in Division One. I can hold a conversation with you on just about every single team. But I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew who the hell Jalen Jones was. And I doubt that even the most ardent of SEC basketball fans, and there must be a few of them outside of Kentucky, right, would even know who the hell this guy is. So that sent me on a journey. When I handicap a game, I've told you in the past that I always use the beat writers, the newspaper writers, as my eyes and ears because they're covering the teams on a day-to-day basis. So I immediately go to Alabama.com because they cover both Alabama and Auburn basketball, and all sports for that matter. And I'm reading what they have to say about the game. I'm watching Anthony Grant's most recent press conference video, etc. Then I go over to the Eagle newspaper in Bryan, Texas, which is the paper that covers College Station, okay? And there I find it. And first I see about the story that this guy, who happens to be the leading scorer and rebounder for Texas A&M, like a little over 13 points and 6 rebounds a game, was hurt late in the team's comeback win against Hartford on Saturday with a sprained ankle. Did not do anything as a team on Sunday. He did not practice on Monday. And then I go to another story where one of the beat writers says that the head coach for A&M, Billy Kennedy, said, that yes, there's a chance he could play. I'm just paraphrasing, but the fact is that, he didn't practice yesterday. If it's the same case, he probably wouldn't play tonight. Well, that to me is an indication to buy. That little voice screaming, bet me in my ear, he didn't even have to scream yesterday because I was all in. Now listen, there are many, many times that you will see a player who is questionable when you see him listed on the odds and the scores page, and what happens is that he may play and get 37 points. There are other situations where a guy is questionable and he won't play at all, such as last night with Jones. And what happened? Well, Alabama, still just a 5.5 point favorite, rolled by double digits and coasted to the easy win and the cover. And that's one of the problems often when you come even to our scores and odds page. Listen, the injuries that are out there nowadays, the information that's public, if it's a big game, if we're talking about Derrick Rose on the Bulls, you will know if he broke a fingernail, okay? If we're talking about one of the top players on Kentucky, you're going to know if they didn't come to the road game with the right pair of matching socks. You're going to know anything about it. But some of these other players you don't know anything about. And I mentioned in the past that for a 5 or 6 year, I can't even remember now, 5 or 6 year stretch back in the 90s, I was the guy that controlled all the injury information for everybody in this whole gambling business. It was me. And I took it upon myself to educate people as well. So if that starting forward for Toledo was questionable or doubtful, I told you if the guy was a good player and if he was their second leading scorer and top rebounder and if he averaged 13 points and 4 rebounds a game, I would tell you that because the name and the term questionable, doubtful, out, that doesn't mean anything unless you know what goes with it. So when people say, again, that there's inside information, there is no such thing as inside information. There is information out there to be gained if you're willing to take the time to research it. And that's the difference between you and me. I do this for a living. So for me, and I say this jokingly, to waste 45 minutes of my life that I will never get back again researching one game, one game yesterday, spending time digging down, trying to find out whether that player for the one team was going to play, which ultimately affected how I rated the game, how I bet the game, how I gave it to you, and which made us all money. Well, you're not going to do that. And because there happens to be 7 of those type of games every single day, and then you've got to narrow it down and find the one you're going to focus on and hammer on, you're not going to do it. But that's the closest thing that there can be for inside information. The age of the internet has changed everything. My God, 20 years ago, I had to used to call teams, media and public relations people constantly to find out the playing status for different players. Or they had what they called fax back systems. You'd actually dial into a fax system and you'd have the press notes sent to you. Oh my God, what a nightmare that was. I mean, there were some days that I would have hundreds of pages of paper sitting in front of me because, most teams' press notes, their game notes are anywhere from usually 8 to 20 pages, depending on the success of the team. And through there, you got to dig down and go, where the hell are the injuries? Who the hell's playing tonight? Not now. You click on a few buttons, you do it on the internet, and boom, you've got the information at your fingertips. So again, when somebody is telling you they've got inside information or the follow-up call where they tell you, listen, and this is what they do, the 800 services. There's nothing I haven't seen or done, guys, in my 20 years of doing this. Or they'll call you and say, listen, we've got to buy some more information for the rest of the season or for this week's game, so we need another $500 for you. What they're saying to you is, we've got to go out and buy our wives another set of diamond earrings, or we've got to come up with another $500 to pay our mortgage because we're mortgaged to the hilt on our house. That's what they're really saying for you. Saying to you, not anything about inside information. Yesterday was a good day, not only for myself. Anthony Red had Alabama, unbeknownst to me. A couple other handicappers had Alabama as well, so everybody was on them, which was nice because everybody got the easy win. Otherwise, yesterday, as I told you in yesterday's video report, the hottest handicapper at the site lately has been Gabriel DuPont. And he remains so going into tonight's card with his 100 dime winner, number 11 out of 12, and third in 3 days. This one, his Mountain West Game of the Year selection. And Gabriel DuPont, of course, with these plays, coming off his Dog of the Year winner on, let's see, that was Monday night when he scored with the game with South Alabama, an 8.5-point underdog, winning the game outright against Arkansas Little Rock. 8.5-point dog winning outright by 3 points. You can live with that. You can absolutely live with that. And then, of course, he also scored last night with his Big East Game of the Year. He backed Villanova coming off that loss to Seton Hall. And they came up with the 18-point road route of Seton Hall. Of St. John. So congratulations to him. Today, 100 dime winner number 11 out of 12. It's his Mountain West Game of the Year, San Jose and Air Force. Now, you got each of the last 2 100 dime winners the past 2 nights at substantial discounts, over half price off. In fact, you have gotten all but one of these 100 dime plays, which have all come since the beginning of December, at huge, huge discounts, and nothing has changed tonight. Guys, today you can save $65 by using the coupon code WEST, W-E-S-T, in honor of it being his Mountain West Game of the Year. Again, San Jose and Air Force $10 bettors have made over $8,200 following his betting advice over the past 6 weeks. 100 dime winner number 11 out of 12 and third in 3 days. Again, you save $65 by using coupon code WEST, W-E-S-T. Brad Wilton has had one 100 dime college basketball release so far this year. It was last Wednesday when he scored with Temple, a 7.5-point underdog, winning outright in overtime at Connecticut. You got that play for a savings of $77 and paid just $22 for it. And today I saw he had another 100 dime play. In fact, his 100 dime winner number 7 out of 9 going back to last season when he capped the college basketball campaign with a couple of March Madness 100 dime winners. Remember, Wisconsin out right over Arizona and Kentucky taking care of business against Michigan. Well, tonight, the same type of play. 100 dime winner number 7 out of 10 is Big Ten Game of the Year, Maryland and Illinois. You get it again for $22 and save $77 in the process simply by using coupon code BRAD22. BRAD22. Also today, Two more things I want to quickly tell you. The charity play of the week is going today. Anthony Red, who has his 60-dime NBA winner number 14 out of 19 on the Pistons Mavericks total. It also happens to be a 60-dime winner number 4 in a row in all sports, as strong as his winner on the Colts on Sunday over Cincinnati. You get that for free, and that is the charity play of the week, and you get that $99 play for free by using coupon code, are you ready? Free, F-R-E-E. That's it. You get it for free. Now, he also happens to have a bonus 30-dime play on the Lakers-Clippers total. So listen, you can have that as well. It doesn't matter. The big play, the free play, which will determine whether the charity play of the week is successful or not, is on the Pistons Mavericks over-under. You get it for free as the charity play of the week. You know the deal with the charity play of the week wins. Tomorrow I'll ask you to make a donation to a family, an individual, somebody in a time of financial need. If it doesn't, well, it's gambling, guys, and there are no guarantees. And finally, Shawn Michaels. Remember the 50-dime play he had in college basketball? In fact, his last 50-dime play in college basketball was 2 Saturdays ago when he went with Gonzaga, getting the job done at BYU. He has another play just as strong here going tonight. 59 play. It's his Pac-12 mismatch of the year, California and Southern Cal. It's a late night tip-off. It goes at 11 p.m. Eastern time, and you can get it for $19 for the guy that has made $10 bettors over 21 grand the past 21 months. You can get it for $19. Use the coupon code there over on the homepage, which I believe is, let me just double check for you. It is the word, late, L-A-T-E. There you go, late. Will get you that play. Okay, now for your complimentary plays. Hey, listen, last night I went 0-2 with the complimentary plays. 2 nights ago, I went 2-0 with the complimentary plays and took the collar with my best bets. Last night, I went 0-2 with the complimentary plays and hit my biggest play of the season once more. Ask me which one I prefer. Sorry, guys. I mean, I do well with the free plays still, despite last night's 0-2 performance on a 42-33 run with them, but I would much rather have the winner that puts money in our pockets. Okay, let's talk about tonight's complimentary plays. I'm going to head out to the Pac-12 and take a look at the game between Utah and Colorado. Also going to take a look at your game between Maryland and Illinois. And, you know, originally I was going to do the Cal-USC contest, but there, again, you have some injuries affecting that game. Instead, I want to talk about the border war game between Colorado State, coming off its first loss of the season, and Wyoming. And that's the game I'm going to start with, the border war. They call it the border war because these two teams are like the campuses are like 70 miles away from each other, maybe 80 miles. I don't know. I've never been to either one of them. The bottom line is here, I'm a little surprised Colorado State is a 5-point favorite because the Rams, of course, coming off their first loss of the season, 66-53 at New Mexico on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Cowboys have won 5 straight games, including a home win against UNLV, which, of course, had recently upset then number 3 ranked Arizona and undefeated Arizona as well. Rams are 14-1. They're tied for the Mountain West lead and scoring at 71.8 points a game. And I point that out because the Cowboys, who like to slow things down, play a half-court type of game, they're 13-2, and they're the 3rd ranked team in scoring defense, giving up 51.9 points a game. So you're going to probably have a sellout crowd at Moby Arena tonight, their first one in a while. Colorado State has dominated the series, winning 8 of the last 10, including 4 straight in Fort Collins. Big news for Colorado State is their really only good, effective big man, Stanton Kidd, did go to practice and fully practice on Tuesday. He will start. He had suffered a sprained ankle in the New Mexico loss, and he's their second leading scorer at 6'8", the forward, averaging a little over 11 points and also grabbing nearly 5 rebounds a game. But again, I look at this particular contest, and I'm seeing what probably is going to be a defensive battle that's going to go right down to the end. So now I'm getting 5 points. The line was 4 overnight, maybe 4.5 this morning. Now it's up to 5. I'm sorry, guys. I've got to grab the 5 points and go with Wyoming in this contest. Now in the Pac-12, we've got Utah hosting Colorado. Buffalo's beating up USC by 21 and UCLA nipping them by 6 at home in their first 2 Pac-12 games. They had lost their previous 2 games in the Diamond Head Classic out in Hawaii to host Hawaii and George Washington. I mean, this opens a brutal 3-game road stretch for the Buffaloes, who after visiting Utah then have to go to Tucson to take on Arizona and then to Tempe to take on Arizona State. They might go 0-3 on this road trip, guys. Listen, Utes are off a 32-point blowout of UCLA and a 24-point win against USC in their first two Pac-12 games. They have won 5 in a row since losing in a neutral court game. I think it was in Kansas City against the University of Kansas. This Utah defense, number 11 in the country, giving up an average of just 55 points a game. But at the same time, the Utes are also a pretty decent shooting team. Not from the free throw line, but in terms of the field, they're number 6 in the country, hitting almost 51% of their shots. Defensively, they put the screws and clamp down on the Bruins of UCLA, holding UCLA to 29% from the field. Now, granted, UCLA had only hit like 33% of their shots their previous 4 games, but it really got bad in this one. I just like the way the Utah defense is. I like the way their offense has been producing here. I know it's a big number at 11 points, but I will ride the Utes in this one. I know that Colorado is going to get their top scorer and their big man, the 6'10 forward Josh Scott, back for this game. He missed the last couple of games because of back spasms and is averaging like 15 points and 7 rebounds a game. But listen, the Utes are 10-0 at home. They've won 12 straight and 28 of 30 at the Huntsman Center, and I will go with them and lay the points in this contest. Maryland, a team that I used in their last game against Minnesota, in fact, as a 15-dime play, is playing its game tonight at Illinois. Now, the Terrapins are already 2-0 in Big Ten play, having gone to double overtime and upsetting Michigan State as a 5.5-point dog in their Big Ten inaugural game a week ago, then coming home and taking care of business against Minnesota. Meanwhile, Illinois off back-to-back losses to start the conference season, 0-2 to Ohio State by 16, and Michigan in overtime by 8. Rayvonte Rice, their starting guard, team leading 17.2 points a game, team leading 6.9 rebounds a game, broke his hand in practice on Monday. He's out indefinitely. I don't see how you can back the Illini in this game. I mean, the Terrapins are due for a letdown sooner or later, and they are due for one of those games where you look at them and you go, how the hell did they lose that game? But I don't think that's going to be tonight. They are a very strong defensive team. They've also gone to the rack strong in their past 2 games. They out-rebounded a Michigan State team that is bigger and more physical by 16 boards in East Lansing. And then they took care of business against the Golden Gophers of Minnesota at home, out-rebounding them 44-35. And defensively, Michigan State shot 21 of 65 from the field playing at home. Minnesota, 7 of 31 in College Park on Saturday, going 0 for 11 from three-point land. Those numbers shouldn't be a surprise because Maryland on the season, their field goal defensive percentage, they're holding foes to just 36.9% of their shots. From three-point land, their opponents are hitting just 27.8% of their shots. Again, when you're taking from an average team the top player and telling me he's out, I got to be on Maryland here. But it should tell you something that I'm not on Maryland enough to make it my best bet. Anyway, that's your free pick selections here for tonight. As again, I'm going with Utah minus the 11 at home. I'm going with Maryland minus the 1.5 to 2 at Illinois. And I'm also going to back Wyoming as the road dog catching 5 at Colorado State. That'll do it, guys, today. Best of luck to you all, and I'll catch you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.